Hey guys, come on downstairs. It's Minnesota Twins franchise here on Mama's Basement. We've got regular season games 20 through 22 of year number 3. We are coming off a 7-game road trip in which we went 4-3 at Detroit and at Kansas City. We've got 3 games at home here against the American League West, against the Mariners and the Angels. We have recalled Alexi Amarista from AAA Rochester, and we brought him up for defensive purposes. He is very versatile, plays shortstop, second, third, and all the outfield positions. We're going to send Matt Dominguez down to AAA. He only plays third base and first base, and we've got plenty of people that can play those positions. So we like Alexi Amarista's flexibility. A quick look at our active roster, 25-man roster. Yellow players are position players. You've got Rosario, Buxton, Santana, Miguel Sano as the outfielders. Luis Valbuena's at third. Nunez and Amarista and Bonifacio can all play infield and outfield. Jorge Polanco at second. Kenny Vargas and James Loney platooning at first. Devin Mesoraco and John Ryan Murphy behind the plate. The rotation is Kyle Gibson, Alex Meyer, Alex Wood, Tyler Duffy, Irvin Santana. Long relief, Trevor May, Tyler Chatwood. Middle relief, JT Shargois and Tonkin. Setup, Brandon Kinsler, Fernando Abad. And the closer is Kevin Segrist. So 2018 regular season game number 20, we sit at 11-8. We are facing the Seattle Mariners, who are 5-15. Irvin Santana makes his 4th start here. He was roughed up a little bit in his last start, but he still has a fantastic ERA. Felix Hernandez making his 5th start for the Mariners. Both of these guys in the later stages of their careers have lost a little bit, but have been fairly effective. And this is the return of Joe Mauer to Target Field, the longtime Twin that we traded away in the offseason to unload that contract. Comes back as a member of the Mariners. So the bottom of the third with 2 outs, ground ball to Ketel Marte, and he is on to first, and the side is retired. At the end of the third, we have no score. The Twins with just 1 hit, the Mariners no hits yet on the game. We go to the 4th inning now. Eddie Rosario steps in, batting .250. No home runs yet and 10 RBIs, and he faces Felix Hernandez. Here's the delivery, and Rosario drives this one deep down the right field line, and there is no doubt about that one. It is gone. A towering home run off the bat of Eddie Rosario. That's his first of the season, and it puts the Twins on the board 1-0. A 434-foot home run for Eddie Rosario. So we end the 4th inning with a 1-0 lead. And we fast forward to the 6th. Nelson Cruz with runners on first and second and 2 outs. And a full count here facing Irvin Santana. Here's the delivery. Cruz grounds it to the right side. It gets past Loney at first into right field. Danny Santana misplays it. And the Mariners are going to get on the board as Nelson Cruz, a 13th RBI of the year. And with runners on the corners and 2 outs, we've got a tie ball game. Paul Molitor comes out to lift Irvin Santana for the lefty Fernando Abad, who is giving up a .400 average to left-handed hitters this year. That is an anomaly, and hopefully that will change. He gets lefty Kyle Seager to strike out looking at the knuckle curve and get out of the jam with just 1 run surrendered. And we fast forward to the 7th. Robbie Cano, batting .141 on the season, really having a hard time. Still facing Abad. This time, Abad serves up the gapper into left center field. Byron Buxton cuts it off before it gets to the track. But a run is going to come around to score on the Robinson-Cano double. And that'll bring up Chris Coughlin. With Cano on third now, the infield drawn in, and Coughlin grounds it to the left side for a base hit. Cano comes in to score, and it's 3-1 Mariners with the lead in the 7th. Tyler Chatwood comes on now for the Twins, making his 7th appearance. He's got a 5.40 ERA. He's kind of our mop-up guy. With runners on the corners and 1 out here in the 7th, facing Carlos Gomez, and Gomez grounds it to the left side, and the Twins get the out at first, but the run does come in to score on that little nubber on the left side by Carlos Gomez. Ketel Marte now with the score 4-1, a runner on second and 2 outs. Ketel Marte gets this one into left center field. Byron Buxton, playing fairly deep, will cut it off, and 1 run comes in to score, and Marte slides in safely to second. Ketel Marte with the RBI. And the Mariners lead 5-1. Nelson Cruz now. This one is lifted into left center field. And Buxton thought about coming in on it, decides to go back and cut it off. Another run scores, and Nelson Cruz is in with the double. And the Mariners have just opened up a can here in the 7th inning. It is 6-1, Seattle with the lead on 10 hits. We go to the 8th inning. Eddie Rosario with a home run earlier in the game. Still facing Felix Hernandez, and Rosario lifts this one high to center field. Gomez is going back at the track at the wall, looking up, and it is gone. Second home run of the day for Eddie Rosario. And it is 6-2 at the end of the 8th. That is all the Twins' offense so far in the game as we head to inning number 9. With the bases loaded and a 7-2 lead, Kyle Seager still facing Chatwood with one out. And Seager is going to scorch this one into right center field. Byron Buxton coming in. He dives and makes the catch. Buxton lays out for it. And then he overthrows the cutoff guy going for the double play at third base as the runner had almost crossed the plate when Buxton made the catch. And then the runner comes in to score on the overthrow. So a beautiful catch, but then the run scores anyway, and the Mariners win this one 8-2 to take a 1-0 series lead on the season. Coughlin 3 for 4 with a double and an RBI. Nelson Cruz 2 for 4 with a double, 2 RBIs. Carlos Gomez 2 for 4 with a double, 2 RBIs as well. Robbie Cano with another RBI. Felix Hernandez goes 7 2/3, giving up 7 hits, 2 runs, and had 2 strikeouts, no walks, and earns the victory. The losing pitcher is Fernando Abad. We look at the moonshot tracker. Eddie Rosario's 434-foot home run is good enough for third on the moonshot tracker list, just behind Luis Valbuena and Devin Mesoraco. So far we only have 2 players that aren't Twins players on the list, and that was a couple of players from the Royals. As we head into game number 2 of this 3-game series, Kyle Gibson takes the hill. 1.71 ERA, pitching like an all-star early in the season. He faces Taijuan Walker, making his 5th start. He also has a very good 2.92 ERA. And we'll get things started off in this one in inning number 3 with runners on first and second. Alexi Amarista at the plate, and Alexi Amarista is asked to give himself up to move runners over to second and third. He does the job nicely.
The center fielder
For the Twins, Byron Buxton with one out now, with those runners at second and third. And Buxton flies this one into right field. Catch is made by Nelson Cruz. It's fairly shallow. The runner tagging. Here's the relay to the plate, and it's in time. Danny Santana thrown out at the plate. At the end of the 3rd inning, we still have no score on the board. We move to the 5th. Domingo McConnell, the catcher for the Mariners, steps in. Batting .227 on the year with 2 outs and runners on first and second. He's going to ground it to the left side to Jorge Polanco on to, that was Nunez, on to Alexi Amarista for the force out at second, and the Twins get out of the inning. Still no score, bottom of the 5th, runners on first and third. James Loney on a swinging bunt, and somehow the catcher does not tag the runner coming home, and the Twins get on the board on the James Loney RBI doinker up the third baseline. We head to the 6th inning now, Twins leading 1-0. Nelson Cruz at the plate, batting .277, and still facing Kyle Gibson with 2 outs and nobody on. Kyle Gibson's 75th pitch of the night, or 76th right here, is the slider down and away. He gets Nelson Cruz to chase. And Kyle Gibson has been strong, giving up 3 hits through 6 innings. We go to the 8th inning now. Brandon Kinsler comes on for the Twins. Has yet to give up an earned run on the season in 10 innings. He has 7 strikeouts. And Carlos Gomez is in the batter's box for the Mariners. 1-2 count with a runner on third. Here's the grounder to the left side. Valbuena charges on to first for the out. And that will keep the run from scoring and keep the M's off the board. Twins 1-0 in the 9th inning. And Kevin Seagrass, the closer, on, looking for save number 7 on the year, as he looks to get the Twins in the win column for the 12th time on the season. He will face Kyle Seager here with 2 outs. Here's the delivery. Kyle Seager grounds it to third, And Luis Valbuena, it wasn't on the ground. Luis Valbuena caught it before it took a hop. And that ends the ball game. The Twins with a 1-0 shutout. A combined shutout. Seagrass gets his 7th save of the year. The Twins improved to 12-9. They are one game behind the Cleveland Indians in the American League Central standings. The Royals are 3 games back. The White Sox are 4 games back. And the Tigers at 2.5 games back sit at 500 at 11-11. Luis Valbuena went 1 for 3 with a double. James Loney 1 for 2 with an RBI. Kyle Gibson, the player of the game, 7 innings pitched, gave up 4 hits, no runs, had 8 strikeouts and no walks on the day for the Twins. Game number 22 of the season. We sit at 12-9. The Mariners sit at 6-16. Alex Meyer 0-2 with a 4.97 ERA, 20 strikeouts to 4 walks, a pretty good 1.03 whip, yet somehow he has given up runs. James Paxton will go for the Mariners here in this afternoon matinee day baseball here at Target Field. It's getaway day for the Mariners. The Twins will stick around and host the Los Angeles Angels in a 3-game series after this one. Chris Coughlin, 3 for 7 in the series. And he is going to turn on one to right field, and that one is going to reach the overhang and sail into the crowd. A 372-foot home run. Chris Coughlin gets the Mariners on the board. In the middle of 3, the M's jump out to a 1-0 lead. On to the 5th inning. Nelson Cruz steps in. He's had a pretty good series. He's batting .264 with 5 home runs. On a 1-2 count with 2 outs, runners on second and third, and Meyer gets Nelson Cruz to swing through a 2-seam fastball back on the inside half of the plate. We're halfway through the game, Seattle leading 1-0. 6th inning, DJ Peterson, 0 for 2 on the day. Steps in for the Mariners with a runner on third and nobody out. And Peterson grounds it to the right side. Vargas is going to try to come to the plate, but he's not in time. And Seager comes in to score, and the game is all tied up at 1. The Twins go for Trevor May out of the bullpen, and he will come in to face Domingo McConnell. Down 2-0. Sorry, I said tied up at 1. It's 2-0 Mariners. McConnell on with runners on second and third. Trevor May gets the strikeout to leave those 2 runners stranded and keep the Twins in the ballgame. Middle of the 6th inning is 2-0 Minnesota. Eduardo Nunez will step in the bottom of the 6th with 2 outs. A very good day for Paxton. And Nunez hops it to short. Ketel Marte on to first to Mauer for the out. And at the end of 6, it is still 2-0 in favor of Seattle. We skip ahead to the 9th inning now. JT Chargois on for the Twins, making his 6th appearance. He's got a high ERA of 6.00. Carlos Gomez 2 for 4 on the day with 2 singles. We'll face him with a runner on third and 2 outs. And Carlos Gomez lines it right back up the middle for the base hit. A run comes in to score. It's 3-0 M's. And Carlos Gomez gets his 10th RBI of the year. So Gomez on first with 2 outs. And here is a line drive into right center field. And Byron Buxton lays out again. Byron Buxton has been a highlight reel out there in center field in the last handful of games. Another diving play for Buxton. And that will end the inning with the Mariners up 3-0. Matt Capps comes in looking for save number 4. And he will face Kenis Vargas. With the Twins down to their final out, a runner on second in scoring position. Kenis Vargas trying to keep the chain moving here. And he flies out to center field. Carlos Gomez makes the catch. And that is your ball game. Series over. The Mariners come in and take 2 out of 3 against Minnesota with a 3-0 win. Runs were hard to come by for us. We only scored 3 in the entire series. And luckily, one of them came in a game where we shut out the Mariners and earned the win. So, we fall to 12-10 to finish off this episode. We are 1.5 games behind the Indians. The Tigers are at 500, 2.5 back. So are the Royals. The Royals are 10-11. They're 3 back. And the White Sox are 4.5 back. So we have 3 more games here in this homestand, all 3 of them against the Los Angeles Angels before we head out on the road to take our show into the month of May. So we are at 12-10. Next up is the Angels in episode number 115. That is Minnesota Twins franchise here on Mama's Basement Sports Gaming.